A man who comes to you and is not afraid to be brought to his knees, that, strangely, is a strong man. And I've always loved strong men. The strongest I ever knew. He was a young man when he came to my father's house. He and his noble father brought presents and trinkets and baubles, just like all the others. She may not, all the same, but she's proud, my father warned. But even then that young man's eyes rested upon me, and they saw beyond those words. We walked in the gardens after supper. I gave him no courtesy, no flowery words. Well, my lord will not stand so close to me. My lord will not bring his eyes to look upon me. If he truly thinks me beautiful, he will save his looks and glances. Does my lord ever shut up? And he'd only said a few words. Any other man his age and older would have balked and turned away from me in disgust and told his father they should leave. But he didn't. It was as if he'd lain his eyes in a rough, beaten wooden box and somehow knew there was treasure therein, if only he could drag it from the treacherous bottom of the icy depths. I will walk some pace behind then, see that your prayers are not disturbed. I will look away, if that please you. Forgive me, my lady, I speak only in the hope that I might hear your voice the more. Who taught him that? How did he know? In the twilight, I took him to the far part of the garden where a climbing vine, for all I know, grows still. The vine there was brought back from the east long ago. I told him this, and there might be nowhere else in the land that had this vine. The flowers resemble a heart, as if it is bleeding, dripping down over our heads. I was fascinated with it when I was a child. He reached up to pluck one from the vine, and I stayed his hand. My lord mustn't, I told him. As with such beautiful things, these flowers, they're very dangerous. A single touch may do little harm, but there is poison in its very flesh, in the petals, in the vine. They say a single drop might stop the heart of a child. For how pretty it looks, you might never know. But some do not listen. Some will pluck a flower they know might prove their undoing. The kind of flower that claims lives. Whether you be a vassal or a king, it could topple you. With a careless hand, you pluck this flower. Anything might happen. And we stood there in the hastening darkness, and he merely looked at me. Do you still want it? I asked. He reached up again and delicately took one down and brought it between us. I'm not oft afraid of dangers I can understand. Better that you told me. And I promise not to eat it. And if I tell you to, what then, my lord?